All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the morning update on Bitcoin. This is JP Trades. Let's dive into this quick Friday morning update. We are already, let's take a look at this a little bit more locally as we are getting some reaction here from our order block. You see that this could be a nice redistribution to come down lower to mitigate some of these areas these are some newly created demand on our chart. We do have a new naked point of control on our chart as well. So this could be a very nice short if we were to lose the VWAP like we are, candle close, back test down. That could be a nice trade setup. However, let's get back into what happened overnight. Let's continue to follow our market structure. And we can see here that we actually, on the 4 hour, we did close below this SFP low. And this was your 4 hour market structure. However, it does share the same structure on the 6 hour. It is not, in my eyes, 8 hour structure. However, it does translate to 12 hour structure here. Your 12 hour structure would look simply like this. You had that break of structure, and now you SFP'd the previous low. And so now we're trying to continue that trend up. So that's the higher time frame bias. And again, the 8 hour SFP, the 6 hour SFP, but then you're going to tell me, oh, well, the 4 hour actually closed below that SFP. But if we flicker through our time frames, we can see that the 3 hour also SFP'd, but what matters more than the 4 hour is the higher time frame. So when we look at the 6 hour, the 8 hour, the 12 hour, all of those have given us a very strong SFP. So we're going to continue the bias of this range to continue up. However, there is a chance that we just continue up in a redistribution pattern, even locally right here, to go back down to these lows. And we could even SFP this low or create a massive wick, kind of like this one here, or even something like this. Take out all of these lows here, take out these double naked points of control with a very high time frame weekly level, and then we wick that and close above all of this and make a massive candle back to the upside. So we always have to watch our lows to see if they're going to get swept, all this liquidity gets swept right here, or do we actually have a very, very nice high time frame candle close below these? And that would lead us down to a break of structure, or actually, in this case, it'd be a market structure shift. So we would be changing this trend back down. So that's the high time frame. Let's take a look a little bit at the lower time frames really quick. So we can see here that we already got the short from the order block. And you had two order blocks in here. You had a larger one as well as a smaller order block. I do mark out both for several different reasons, mainly for risk to reward reasons. When I'm actually getting into a scalp or day trade, it helps me refine. So let's go back to this move here, because we were watching for this SFP to happen. And we did have nice structure coming into that zone, even though it was a higher time frame SFP. We had very nice structure coming into that zone. So you could have found your market structure shift here and then refined it for a nice entry. Let's take a little bit, let's take a look at market cipher view really quick. Yes, so we did get confirmations at that low as well. So this SFP did have some nice confirmations. You had the momentum waves coming up as prices coming into your level at the moment of the SFP. Very important. And you also even see it at your level order block here. Prices coming up, and you have a very sharp bearish divergence. However, at the same time as this bearish divergence, you see money flow coming up. So that might indicate that this pullback will be very brief, such as something like that, or you might get down to that neck and point of control here and then retest that monthly, and then you go up. So we can look for those ideas as well. So look for structure coming out of here, or maybe you have a nice SFP going down to this larger area of demand, or you can just wick these lows again. Let's take a quick look at the 30-minute. Okay, so technically this 30-minute is a forward low. So we could very well come back and clean that up and then go back up. So I'm also watching for that idea. So those are your local plays. And for a little bit more high time frame plays, again, your high time frame play was right here. Now, if we come back down to this low, you could have another shot at a swing long to hopefully continue this trend higher on the higher time frames, and then hopefully come up maybe to these neck and points of control, maybe to take extreme liquidity here and knock out this weekly or daily, or simply let's take another crack at the highs. So that is your Bitcoin update for today, and I will update you in the Discord. If you are looking for mentorship and want to learn my style of trading, send me a DM or tag me in the Discord.